All right, here we are discussing Chapter 1, Introduction in Think and Grow Rich. Now, I want to read how Napoleon Hill begins this off because it's very important for the rest of the book. He says, truly, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. Now, this sets us up for the rest of the book, for what's to come. Now, we need to set ourselves up for success as we begin to study this book. Now, I recommend that you take an entire week to study each chapter. So please start this chapter 1 and take a week on it and really read it, reread it, and go through the exercises that I provide for you because they are tailored to help you move forward within this book. And so that you can assimilate this content so you can really apply it to your life and make it your worthwhile. So you're not just reading another book. Okay, I want it to be that you read this book, you apply this book, and it really sinks in and it helps you move forward in your life. So, what's going to help us be successful as we embark on this study together? Well, we have to answer the question, what do I want? Now, chapter 2 goes into desire, and Napoleon Hill talks about how to transmute desire into physical objects. But we cannot go there until we know what it is that we want. And so many people have never asked themselves this question for a long, long time. You know, as kids, we think, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this. And then those desires are quashed by, well, how are you going to pay for it? Or where's the money going to come from? How is that going to happen? So we are trained out of asking ourselves, what do I want? And then other societal concerns come in where, well, it's selfish to focus on what you want. Rather, you should be focused on what everybody else wants. So we have all these reasons not to ask ourselves this important question. So we're going to ask ourselves this question. I'm going to take you through an exercise of that. But first, I want to take you through an exercise that Bob Proctor's first mentor took him through. And Bob continued to take people like me through this same exercise all throughout his adult life and as he was teaching these materials. So I want you to just think first. All right, I've created worksheets for you as well, but I want to just have you do this in your mind first. Okay, I want you to think about your results. And I want you to think about your current results as it pertains to your happiness, first of all. First and foremost, how happy are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you place it? 10 being the happiest in the entire world, happiest person ever, right? So scale of 1 to 10, where would you place yourself on that scale? Now, as you think about why you picked the number that you're choosing, I want you to just mentally think about how happy you are and what makes you happy. What are the things in your life currently that are going on that make you happy? Maybe you have the best relationship there is. Maybe you have children that are just wonderful. Maybe you have a pet that's just the cutest. Maybe you have a thriving business. Maybe you are living in the house of your dreams. Whatever it is, whatever makes you happy currently, write it down. Now, if you're on the scale above 5, then you're thinking, these things are making me happy. But if you are 5 and below, what are the things that are making you unhappy? So really think about these things. Maybe you're not living in the house that you want to. Maybe your relationship is suffering. Maybe your children are bugging you. I don't know what it is, but I want you to think about your results, current results in the realm of happiness. Okay. And you'll be writing this down on your worksheet after you watch this video as well. But I really just want you to start thinking about these things. Now, The next realm that we're going to look at is health. How happy are you in the realm of your health? How do you feel every day? Are you ready to get out of bed? Are you energized? Do you sleep well at night? Do you like what you eat? Do you like what you see in the mirror? Think about all these things as it pertains to health. Do you have a healthy body? Is it in balance? Is it in harmony with itself? Do you exercise? Think about all the things that go into your health. How do you feel? Scale of 1 to 10. And if you are 6 and above, you're thinking about, what are these things that I'm so healthy about? What are things that are so great that are pertaining to my health? And if you're 5 and below, your results are going to share, well, I could use improvement in these areas. Now, I really want to stress this at this particular time. Now is not the time to begin punishing yourself for the things that you are or are not doing. Now is the time to just take inventory of what's going on currently. Okay? So I don't want you to use this as an excuse to berate yourself or be mad at yourself or insert anything negative here. I want you to use this as an opportunity to see where your results are so we can move forward. Okay? So now that you've thought about your health, I want you to think about your results as it pertains to wealth. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am the most wealthy I've ever wanted to be in my entire life or could ever fathom being, and 1, obviously, I am unhappy with my wealth. So rank yourself. Where are you on that scale? And then think about and list in your mind the things that you are doing, your results that are happening that make you feel wealthy or make you feel not wealthy. Okay? And just examine these. Just think about them. All right? And after the video is over, I want you to print out the worksheet or open a journal. You might want to start an entirely new journal for this class. Okay? And so what I want you to do is write down results at the top of the sheet, and then write down happiness and write all those things that you thought about, and think about more if you need to. And then think about health and write down all the things that you thought about as it pertains to health, your current results. And then wealth, write them all down. Okay. Now, taking inventory is important. Throughout this book, Napoleon Hill is going to take us through a lot of self-assessments. And to understand where we are is our springboard to go where we want to go. So we have to look at where we are now, our current results, in order for us to really take action to move in the direction of where we want to go. So the reason why I want you to really focus on your current results now is because so many times our current results are an easy way to start answering the question, what do I want? Okay, so if you have results that you don't particularly like, well, then you know what you don't want, don't you? So then you can begin crafting ideas of, ooh, I want this. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel like I'm energized every single morning I get out of bed. I want to live in a prosperous manner and have all the money I want in order to do the things that I want and need, right? And so think about how you want to answer the question, what do I want? Okay, so the worksheet that I provide just gives you a blank slate. So you can just write down anything and everything that you can think of, from a pair of shoes to the house in the mountains or whatever it is that you really, really want. Okay, nothing is off the table. Write it all down. Don't tamper or temper down what it is that you want. Allow it to express itself. And I really encourage you to do this over the span of a week. As you're reading this chapter, as you're rereading this chapter, take yourself through the exercise. What do I want? Just ask your question. What do I want? And as things come to you, because they will, because you're answering the question as you're asking it, things will come to you that you didn't necessarily realize that you wanted, or that have been kind of percolating in the background your whole life, and you just kind of ignored it. Okay. So I really want you to listen to those answers to that question. And the only way that you're going to get the answers is if you ask the question. So be sure that you spend time in the question, ask the question, what do I want? And receive the answer and write it down. Okay. So maybe you just want harmony when you deal with others. Write it down. Okay. So these are the exercises that I really want you to focus on before moving into chapter 2 on desire. Because in chapter 2, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of how to make these things, these thoughts, turn into physical reality. And the fact of the matter is we can't do the next step unless you're very clear on what it is that you want. So as you make this list, you're going to notice that there's something that's going to kind of float to the top, right? So when you ask the question, there's going to be something that keeps coming up. And notice that, put a circle around it, okay? And maybe it's 2 or 3 things, but put circles around the ones that come up the most often, all right? And those are going to steer you into the direction that you're going to be heading first and foremost as we study this book together. Okay, well, get to work. It's time to read the chapter, reread the chapter, underline, highlight, make notes, print out the worksheets, and start asking yourself the questions. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.